Hello everyone and welcome to the live stream. I hope you're all doing good. Tonight we have a bunch of different things to talk about. A lot has happened that I haven't got a chance to cover, that I've wanted to cover. Follow-ups to situations I've definitely touched on a few times. Just a lot happening. Lots of things I didn't actually expect, to be fair. So, tonight we're gonna be talking, oh boy. It's 50% video games, 50% entertainment. We're gonna be talking about Ta-Nehisi Coates' Superman project. This is something I had covered, I don't even remember when, like 6 months ago to 8 months ago, I want to say. This is a Superman project that we all kind of assumed was going to be pretty woke, was going to have political statements behind it, primarily because Ta-Nehisi Coates is someone who throws politics into everything he does. And now, according to alleged leaks, we've got some more details about it, how they plan to use Superman's alien heritage as a parallel to racism and will race swap our girl, Lois Lane. Which honestly just sounds very on brand for what I expected out of this project. Obviously, when we see someone who goes on social media and is behind projects where their political opinions have been shoved into entertainment, whether it's comic books, video games, movies, whatever, I still try to stay hopeful that, oh, maybe this time it'll be different, even though we know it's not going to turn out different. But according to leaks, it's gonna be pretty political. I wanted to talk about this situation that is something new that I'd only just read about yesterday. Yuji Naka has revealed that he sued Square Enix. He was the director of Balan Wonderworld. He revealed that he sued Square Enix for kicking him off of the game 6 months before launch. And they basically trash Square Enix, saying Square Enix doesn't care about games, they don't care about fans, they really don't care about anyone at all, which also is definitely interesting, because I'm going to be talking about another Square Enix topic, because they decided to sell off all of their Western game studios and all their games to Embracer. It is a $300 million deal. There's a lot here. Eidos Montreal, Crystal Dynamics. There's a lot here. Eidos Montreal, Crystal Dynamics. Well, Embracer is purchasing it all. Square Enix is selling all of its Western game studios, which is also something I wanted to talk about. This is not something that has been rumored, has been hinted at. I've talked about Square Enix a lot on the channel, and specifically in the past couple of months, and how it seems like they're very focused on Western markets, and now they are getting rid of all of their Western game studios. But this also came out, how they basically said that the Embracer acquisition is allowing it to invest in more of the blockchain, AI, and the cloud. So they're trying to spin it as, well, this is actually really good for us, because this means that we'll be able to do more things regarding the future of gaming. Of course, that's the excuse we always hear when companies are talking about, like, NFTs and shit. But yeah. This was a giant situation that happened, that was announced, like, last night, that I was shocked by. Okay, 3:55 a.m. Wasn't expecting that. And we're also going to be talking about Doctor Strange 2. As you guys know, Doctor Strange 2 finally releases. It finally releases this weekend, and a lot of people are feeling iffy about, of course, the leaks we've heard about, the news we've heard about, and kind of the direction they're taking this movie. And obviously, when I heard they were doing another Doctor Strange movie, I wanted it to be centered around basically the same story as when I love Doctor Strange. I thought the first movie was fantastic. But of course, now that they're playing with the multiverse, and after Spider-Man No Way Home, this movie is basically, hey, how many characters can we shove into one single movie? And that, it sounds like, is exactly what we're getting. But also, with Doctor Strange 2, and kind of reading the initial critic scores, which obviously critics, take them with a grain of salt, Benedict Cumberbatch has said that he is taking a break from acting following Doctor Strange 2. Which definitely makes you wonder what's gonna happen with Doctor Strange and Benedict Cumberbatch's character in this movie. And it seems like, at least for now, he's taking a small break, meaning he's not going to be in any upcoming MCU films. So yeah, those are the topics to discuss tonight. Hello everyone, I hope that your evening is going well. Welcome to the stream. We'll get started in a minute or two. Those are the topics on the list for the evening. Howdy ho. I'd rather get Square Enix gacha than NFT. I don't like NFTs. I don't support NFTs. But that's what companies see. They go, oh, NFTs seems like a great idea for the future of gaming. Yeah, great. Bottom of the barrel news, Vera. If you say so, Nigma. I mean, it's your call if that's what you think. Doesn't matter, Doctor Strange is a woman now? There are leaks regarding Doctor Strange that once we get to Doctor Strange, I'll tell you guys just a quick spoiler alert, because I do want to briefly mention the leaks. But the movie's not out yet. We won't know officially everything that happens for a little bit longer, for a couple more days. But right now, I'm not super excited for the film. Again, I love Doctor Strange 1. I really like Benedict Cumberbatch and just Doctor Strange in general. But to me, it definitely just seems like, well, I don't know if I exactly like the direction they are taking this movie in. From what it looks like, from reading like critic reviews, critics either love it or they hate it. There's not a lot of people who feel very in between with it. Seems like you either really like the direction they took it in and like the ideas, or you hate them. And I mean, I haven't liked a lot of Marvel movies lately. There's been one here and one there, but for the most part, I haven't loved them. Definitely many more negatives than positives. Thank you, Sega, for the $5 super chat. Your hair is so brighter than the core of the sun. Love you. Well, I appreciate the compliment. It is very bright, and thank you for the 5. Well, at least Power Girl keeps her boobo window for now. Power Girl's not, I'm sure, not gonna have the boobo window for very long. We can't have that. That's terrible. That's sexist. Ugh, disgusting. A sexy character? Can't have that. Nope. We've got to bring the horny hammer down on this. Gotta shut this shit down ASAP. Where's Ezra? I don't know, but he should be in jail. Ah, man. Ezra Miller. I haven't heard anything about him at all in the past, what, 2 weeks? Since the second time he was arrested. Has there been anything on him? Ezra Miller. I have heard nothing about him. People tweeting things like, Dad and I in Hawaii, someone retweeted and said, yeah, stay safe. Watch out for Ezra Miller. Oh, boy. This is my favorite. I don't think there's a better Ezra meme than this. Hawaii residents when Ezra Miller arrives. I don't want to fight you, Flash. Boy, oh boy. The fun just doesn't stop. Just doesn't stop. No Way Home was decent, the rest was garbage. I agree. No Way Home was very good, in my opinion. I really liked No Way Home. I thought that it was good. It was one of the few that I actually went and supported and liked and enjoyed and have recommended. But one amazing or even good movie doesn't make up for all of the misses and all of the terrible ones they've put out. Sexy, how dare they? I know. How dare they? Ugh, just so disgusting. Ugh, awful, terrible. Hello, Waifu Taker. My day is going good. It's my first stream in a while, although I've been hanging around in the Discord. Fair enough. Welcome to the stream. Okay, guys, so let's get started with the Superman alleged leaks. Potential spoiler alerts, okay? These leaks are alleged. I think I missed an A there. These are not confirmed, so take them with a grain of salt, but also don't be surprised if this actually happens. So, alleged leaks reveal Ta-Nehisi Coates' Superman project will use Superman's alien heritage to as a parallel to racism and will race swap Lois Lane. So it says a number of alleged leaks for the Ta-Nehisi Coates written and J.J. Abrams produced Superman film claim the movie will use Superman's alien heritage as a parallel to racism. Ah, boy. Oh, boy. Listen, J.J. Abrams is only producing this film, right? He's not writing it. He's not directing it. He's not thising and thatting it. Whenever the fuck I hear J.J. Abrams on a project, I just want to shrivel up and die. I cannot see J.J. Abrams in a positive light. He's someone that's been given far too many chances with far too many franchises and far too many characters, and he doesn't deserve another chance. I do not like J.J. Abrams. There's people out there who like him. If you do, that's awesome. Good for you. Power to you. Power to the player. I do not like Mr. J.J. But it says these alleged leaks were recently shared to Twitter by a user named GeoPanda24, who provided quite a bit of information about the film. First, the user noted, while the project was originally intended to be a period piece, the final draft submitted by Coates recently is not a period piece. This is something that we had briefly heard about, that they didn't want it to be like some 2023 story set Superman. They wanted it to be a little bit different. Obviously, when they say, hey, we're going to make this movie and this is the idea we have, it doesn't always mean that that idea is going to come to pass and that's going to be the final product we get. But it says, next, they revealed it's not about a black Superman being a victim of racism. Rather, it uses Superman's alien heritage as a parallel to racism. They are, however, going through with colorblind casting. So there's a bit to unpack here, but we do know that this Superman is going to be a black Superman, and I have no problems with seeing any kind of characters on the big screen, if it be a black character or a white character or whoever, whatever type of character, whatever type of actor, doesn't matter to me. What matters is the story. And in this case, they decided to choose Superman, and they decided to go in the direction of a black Superman, which initially a lot of people either liked the idea of and supported the idea of or hated the idea of. Obviously, even when I have initial thoughts on a project, I even with like Batwoman, like a Batwoman Season 2 or a Batwoman Season 3. I might have hated Season 1, but I still would have tried to give another season a chance. I would have tried to give a Season 2 or a Season 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 a chance. If we look at something like Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, I'm not a big fan of the direction they're taking it in. I'm not a big fan of all these new characters, these non-Tolkien characters in Tolkien's story, them race-swapping characters and making elves darker skinned, and I'm not a fan of all of these different changes because they do not align with the source material, but I'm still going to watch it. I'm still going to give it a try. I'm still going to attempt to find something I like out of it, but unfortunately, Ta-Nehisi Coates is not someone who just goes into a project and creates something thinking of the story first and the characters first. No. He is someone that is very focused on narrative first. Okay, what types of narratives can I shove into... he's primarily written comics, but books. It seemed like that was also going to be front and center with this film is, what can we shove in to make current day parallels or just real life parallels and political statements we can make. But it also says Superman is heavily nerfed, being taken back to his golden age roots. He can no longer fly, but he can instead leap tall buildings in a single bound. He also lacks heat vision, frost breath, and x-ray vision. He's also described as moving at... So, you know, it's hard to hear that, this is the direction they're taking Superman in and not seeing it, because right off the bat, I also feel pretty conflicted about this because I don't mind the idea of them taking this character back to Golden Age roots, not having specific powers and abilities. Like, I don't think that necessarily sounds terrible, but it sounds like, how is this going to be a movie, okay? Where you can have Superman walking down the fucking street punching people that he doesn't like? Like, it's a movie. You've got to make it interesting in some way, and when most people think of Superman, they're thinking of heat vision, frost breath, flying, big, bold, bright, dynamic. They're thinking of cool action scenes. They're not thinking about, well, what if Superman was nerfed? What if Superman was just, pushed down a notch, pushed down a peg? How is this gonna be an entertaining movie? I don't know, but, I wouldn't pay, as someone who loves Superman, I wouldn't pay $15 to $20 for a movie ticket to go and see Superman walking down the street with little protest signs that say climate change and, this in general. Fucking Superman going to climate protests and making political statements walking down the street with his boyfriend from the fucking comics. Like, that's not what I would go and see a movie for. And a big part of this, to me, the question is raised, what would this movie be then? Fucking Arthur, everywhere you meet, you're walking down the street? Like, what is this? It says 4, they do have descriptions of the characters in the script, which gives away their races. Lois Lane is written with an Asian actress in mind. Perry White is written as an African-American man, and Jimmy Olsen is described as a freckled redhead. Wait, what? They're actually putting in a redhead in a movie? First of all, I don't believe, ding ding ding, I think you're lying. I don't know if I believe that. A redhead. I don't know. We've seen a lot of redheads be swapped. But it seems like, they're already starting with what they have in mind. Race swaps. This doesn't say any gender swaps, but still. And it also says 5. The film is currently utilizing the Golden Age version of the Ultra Humanite as the main antagonist, although this may change. I don't know. These are all rumors. These are all things that could potentially happen. It just sounds very meh to me. I'm gonna be honest, I would pay to see 100 more Henry Cavill Superman movies. And this sounds boring, and I think that most people are gonna go, but why? Why does this have to exist simply because you want to put a black Superman on screen? I think that kind of is what it boils down to, is they don't want a white Superman. They want to push a black Superman. And obviously for some people, some people like that idea. Some people think that's a great idea. But for me, my problem is this movie going to be entertaining? And I don't know if this really sounds entertaining. It says the script is rather long, clocking it at 165 pages. This may be due to the fact that the film is being written as an awards contender rather than a regular superhero film. It portrays Superman as a champion of the oppressed. The government hates him, but the people love him. Of course. Of course, that's what they're focused on. They're not worried about it being a regular superhero film, okay? They want it to portray Superman as a champion of the oppressed. The government hates him. People love him. I mean, it's not looking to be a regular superhero film. They want it to be a award contender. How many awards did, I don't know, the last fucking woke superhero film win? Probably none. Probably none, because I don't even remember. So yeah, guys, again, only rumors, only speculation. We do not know if this is going to be what is actually released. It might not be. But we did find out back in May 2021 that it was being claimed that the film was looking for not only a black actor, but also a black director. Insiders say Warner and DC are committed to hiring a black director to tackle what will be the first cinematic incarnation of Superman featuring a black actor. It says, of course, there are definitely a couple of big reasons to doubt the legitimacy of this rumor. Whenever I talk about rumors, I do not want you guys to take them as fact. There are definitely some rumors that I talk about where I'm like, I'm 95% sure that this is real, and it definitely seems real. This could go either way. I'm not a fan of Ta-Nehisi Coates. I'm not a fan of J.J. Abrams. I'm not a fan of Warner Brothers. And, well, while I would love to be hopeful about an upcoming movie, hearing about a activist Superman doesn't really seem that interesting, in my opinion. I mean, clearly the comic series going on right now with activist gay Superman isn't going well. I don't know if this movie is gonna go well, but that's all that I had to discuss with that. That is all the information we know about right now. But yeah, looks like they will potentially race swap Lois Lane. Superman's alien heritage will be used as a parallel to racism. Seems like a pretty average day for DC, to be honest. What do you guys think? Would you watch this movie? I think most of you will say no. Superman was stuck in the past. Time to reinvent Superman. Oh yeah, because that's definitely what people want to see, surely. It's not that people just want to see these great characters that already have great storylines and are just awesome in general. No, we might as well just reinvent them for modern day audiences that don't actually exist. These companies really think that people that would be described as modern day audiences, like, actually want to see their fucking movies. This movie, if these rumors are true, is gonna fucking flop, okay? It's gonna flop. It's not gonna do good. It's gonna be dead on arrival. Like, why not create a new character? Why not give a new character their own movie? I don't know, it shouldn't be that hard of an idea. Apparently, though, for some people, it is. Man, Hollywood is fucking bankrupt of ideas. These people are fucking trash. These people are trash. So yeah, guys. Next, we'll move into... What do we want to move into? Amber, Johnny, Doctor Strange, Square Enix. Well, maybe we'll cover Square Enix because there's 2 Square Enix topics to cover. There's not just like one, because it's the Balan Wonderland director and also the purchase and acquisitions. So we do have like 2 topics to cover there. So I think that maybe we'll do that one next. Fan, will you please move directions? Thank you. My cat is looking at me like, why are you moving the fan? I'm just having it turn a little bit, Shep. You'll be perfectly fine. I know, you don't like that. I know, you don't like that. What a brat. Yeah, so maybe we'll talk about the dual Square topics next. I might do a video on the purchase in the studios tomorrow, but yikes. Lots going on with Square, huh? Have you guys been watching the Amber and Johnny trial? Today was a lot of the psychological discussions, because they had like a psychologist hired by Amber on stand. Amber Heard has a history of anxiety and addiction. Wow, you don't say. She's an alcoholic, you don't say. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. It's hip to be a Square, apparently. May it lose 500 million? What? I'd rather watch Man of Steel again, and I didn't even like it. I didn't hate Man of Steel. Is it just me? I don't know. I really like Henry Cavill, though. I thought he was a great Superman. I did not think that he was bad. Also, let me bring this up real quick. Let me find this. Oh, my web page is frozen. Sorry, guys. How lame. Here we go. Okay, so yeah, I guess we'll talk about this one first. Since there's, again, the 2. The other one's a little bit longer. So, I don't know how many of you actually decided to purchase and play Balan Wonderland, but I feel like a lot of people were very disappointed. And, a new report, I guess, a new interview, well, I guess it's not new, but a previous interview that was done has recently been circulating again, about the Balan Wonderland director. So, Yuji Naka has revealed that he sued Square Enix for kicking him off of Balan Wonderland 6 months from launch, saying they don't care about games or fans. And I've talked a lot over the past few weeks specifically about Square Enix, and I mean, I've basically talked about this exact thing. They don't really care about what fans want. They don't really care about their games and the developers creating their titles. They only really care about making it seem like they're hip and with the times so that they can't get canceled. They're worried about making their games appeal to modern audiences, which don't actually exist. And they're basically looking to just not get canceled. If we look at all the different things that have come out about previous games they've released, the newer games they've released, like Chrono Cross Remaster. But it says Yuji Naka has revealed he sued Square Enix after being relieved as the director of Balan Wonderworld 6 months from its ill-fated launch. It says in a 2020 interview with IGN SEA, as if to foreshadow his own downfall, Naka stated this was his one chance from Square Enix to make a full-scale platforming game. I think Square Enix has an RPG image, but I don't think I'd be good at making RPGs, he confessed. He launched the Balan Company, a subsidiary of Square Enix, with Nato, is that how you say it? Oshima? To develop Balan Wonderland, stating, at the time, such is my enthusiasm for continuing to make action games. Sounds like he was feeling very hopeful. He was loving the work that he was doing. He did say that if you look at Square Enix, they kind of have this specific image. I don't think I'd be good at making something that would fit into their image, but I do think that I could work with them and I could make things that their consumers would like. It says Balan Wonderworld suffered poor initial reactions with the game's demo, generating mixed reactions, with many feeling the game's controls were poor and levels were unfinished. I feel like, from what I had observed, a lot of people liked the idea of Balan Wonderworld. A lot of people were thinking, maybe this is going to turn out to be really, really great and really unique. And it says, though, this seemingly prompted the producer to speak out in a Square Enix blog post promoting the game. There's been a wide range of opinions and responses to the demo, and unfortunately, at the current stage of development, it simply isn't feasible to reflect every piece of feedback into the game. It seemed like people were not as impressed as they could have been. There were a lot of technical problems, but again, I think that people liked kind of the general idea of the title. It just seemed like it needed a lot more time. It needed a lot more fixing, a lot more work done to it, and it just didn't happen. It says, however, to offer you all a more balanced gameplay experience, we will be implementing a day one patch for the full game. Specifically, this patch will adjust movement controls, camera movement, and rebalancing of the difficulty. So it at least seemed at the time like they were going to try to listen to feedback. Obviously, they only had so much time before launch, and they still wanted to launch it with the dates they had already planned, which I think is a giant problem where companies need to just realize if your developers are saying a game isn't done and they need more time, the game isn't done and they just need more time. It was the big problem with Cyberpunk, and why Cyberpunk ultimately failed so quickly. It's because it was so hyped up and people wanted it to release, and they said, okay, we're gonna release it, and then they released it and it just was buggy, it was broken. You all remember the disaster that Cyberpunk was. It says the day one patch also fixed a seizure-inducing graphical bug, which also harmed the game's reputation, and ultimately the game was lambasted by players and critics alike, stating the game felt outdated and its core mechanics simply weren't fun. This issue stemmed in part from many of the game's costume power-ups. They often reduced gameplay to a single button for their associated action, which for many costumes robbed players the ability to jump in a platforming game. Absolutely terrible, but also a little funny, I'm not gonna lie. It says it's unsurprising that the game proceeded to bomb shortly after launch. It reportedly failed to break into Famitsu's top 30 selling games in its opening week in Japan, nor the top 30 of Nintendo Switch eShop in Japan or North America. It failed to break into the top 40 in the UK, reportedly being beaten by games that had been on sale for just under 2 years. Less than 3 weeks after launch, Balan Wonderworld's demo was pulled from Japanese console stores, so it didn't go very well. It was definitely a very negative situation. It got absolutely review bombed. People hated it. Again, sometimes you see a concept of a game and you really like the concept and you want to try to support it, and the execution just, it's not there. It's not good enough. He announced that he had left Square Enix on June 5th, 2021, and on Twitter he revealed that he had left the company at the end of April, roughly a month after Balan Wonderworld launched, and you would think that he was the director. He would still be there, but it says, I retired from Square Enix at the end of April 2021 because I received inquiries from media and users. I can't tell you the reason now, but I hope I can tell you when the time comes. However, new details have now come to light, with him claiming he was fired from Balan Wonderworld's development 6 months before it launched, and that he had issued a lawsuit in retaliation. So he's basically saying that I spent years on this game, I spent years working on this as the director, and then a couple of months before launch they decided to fire me. It says approximately half a year before the launch of Balan Wonderworld, a business order was issued to be removed from the director of Balan Wonderworld. So I filed a lawsuit against Square Enix in court. I would like to talk about the fact that the trial is over and the business order is no longer in effect at this time. It says, I don't think Square Enix, which doesn't care about games and fans, is bad. According to the court documents, I was removed from the director of it at 2 points, performed by producer, promotion, sound director, and human resources. Yikes. This is an absolute giant shot. I think that if you heard his name, people probably would be like, who? People wouldn't initially know who he is, but when you hear about what he did at Square Enix, how long he was there, the projects he worked on, yeah, you'd go, okay. So he's pretty important. He's not a no one. And him taking a shot at Square Enix like this definitely isn't good for them. I mean, he outright stated Square Enix doesn't care about their games and doesn't care about their fans, which we kind of already know. Unfortunately, most companies don't actually care about their consumers. They don't actually care about you and me. They only care that we swipe our credit card for a game. They don't care really about what we want and the changes we want. They just care about releasing a product, getting people to buy it, and releasing another product. They don't care about their developers either, unfortunately. It says one was that a YouTuber will play the game music on the promotion and release the score, so I thought it would be strange for the ghostwriter to write the score arranged to put out to the original game, so the original song I got into trouble for because I insisted that I wanted to put out the score of it. It sounds like he just couldn't do anything that he really wanted to do. Yeah. There's a lot here, obviously. But hearing that they had fired him only a couple of months before the game launched definitely isn't good. It's definitely something that I think more people probably should be talking about. And this has been, over the past few days, gaining a lot of media attention because it was posted initially to Twitter. But I still think there are a lot of people that don't know about this. But yeah, he revealed that he had sued Square Enix, and I mean, he took a giant shot at them, just saying they don't care about games, they don't care about fans, which always is sad to hear from someone who worked for the company that felt passionate about a project. It sounds like he didn't get to have the music he wanted released, and he didn't get the time he wanted for the game, and it just kind of seems like Square Enix, from what I see, at least, it seems like Square Enix was just sick of the way that he was handling the project, and they wanted it released, and he said, no, we need more time, and then they fired him. So, awful situation. Another note to take for Square Enix on the absolutely shitty list. I mean, we've got a lot of shitty Square Enix situations lately. This is yet another. But next we're going to move into another Square Enix topic that I also definitely was not expecting to hear about. It was posted at 3:55 a.m. Something else that I think a lot of people are pretty shocked by. It definitely wasn't me. Usually when we hear about... Or usually when a big purchase happens, we hear rumors, we hear some kind of like information behind the scenes, whether it be on like social media from someone claiming to be an employee or someone claiming to be part of a deal, but we didn't hear anything about this, or at least I didn't hear anything about this. But this is definitely a giant situation. Square Enix sells all of its Western game studios and their games to Embracer. That was basically taking the creator away from their own baby, unfortunately. Yeah, it is. It's like someone has a vision, someone has put on a project, they're given the chance to create it, and then only a couple months before release, you rip them off the project. Like, that is really shitty. It's really shitty. Yeah, it also sounds like he got devoured by corporate politics. Unfortunately, it happens. But I do try to talk about the situations when I hear about them. I think Balan Wonderworld, from what I'm hearing, just had bad bones, but what Yuji Naka is saying makes it a lot worse for Square. 100%. 100%. So, guys, let's start with this Ars Technica article, and then we'll go to the IGN article. Boy, oh boy, I didn't have this on my bingo card. It says on Monday, the Japanese game publisher Square Enix confirmed that it was selling all 3 of its Western video game studios, along with many significant game series and IPs attached to those studios, to the European game publisher Embracer. This sale includes game studios Crystal Dynamics, Eidos Montreal, and Square Enix Montreal. All 3 had previously been wholly owned by Square Enix, and Embracer will acquire their entire staffs, combined at roughly 1,100 people, along with popular IPs such as Tomb Raider, Legacy of Kain, and a game publishing catalog of over 50 games for $300 million. Now, $300 million is it's not a tiny amount, but we've also heard about some giant deals in the gaming industry over the past few years. But obviously $300 million it's hefty. It is hefty. But when you see the IPs that they got, you see studios like Crystal Dynamics that they got, it honestly, to me, doesn't seem like enough. Everyone's gonna have their own opinions on it. It's the price that was settled on. But to me, when I think of just Tomb Raider alone, I'm like, oh, yeah. Are you sure it's not more? It says not all of the deal's IPs have been confirmed thus far, however, and an announcement from Square Enix indicates that its Western operations will continue to publish franchises such as Just Cause, Outriders, and Life is Strange. Guys, who cares about fucking Outriders? Who cares about Outriders? Outriders was fucking trash. I remember when Outriders came out, I was excited about it. I was hopeful that Outriders was gonna come out, it was gonna be good. It kind of seemed like it was gonna be a Destiny, and it just was so much worse. Maybe now it would be better. I think, for me, what was a giant problem, the content was kind of iffy, but it played so terribly. There were so many bugs and glitches and blech. Maybe now, if I rebooted it back up, I'd be able to get through it. But I hated Outriders. It was top 3 for sure worst games of 2021. Might even be number 1. It says this suggests that Square Enix will retain some of its Western-specific IPs and that its future collaborations with Western game makers will come via publishing deals with outside developers. While, it says, or 1/4 of a Gearbox, while console manufacturers Microsoft and Sony have racked up headlines thanks to their own megaton game maker acquisitions over the past few years, Embracer has quietly built its own roster of predominantly European studios over the past decade. You know, Microsoft and Sony obviously are always going to be the talk of the town, but Embracer is not just a tiny group anymore. I mean, Embracer is pretty large. It says it was better known by the name THQ Nordic beginning in 2014 after picking up the rights to that fallen publisher's name, though not all of its games. Its biggest acquisition in the past 12 months have included the video game maker Gearbox. Gearbox was another purchase, I think, we were not expecting, which did happen, but I mean, now Embracer not only has Gearbox, but they've got these pretty well-known big IPs, Western specific IPs in a lot of cases. It says, looking at the balance sheet, however, those 2 deals each exceeded $1 billion, while today's Square Enix deal falls well short of that number. The discrepancy feels curious in light of Square Enix itself announcing that Tomb Raider's lifetime game sales have exceeded 85 million during the series' 25th anniversary celebration in October. As a comparison, That sales number is neck and neck with one of Square Enix's most beloved game series, Dragon Quest, which had sold over 83 million games as of August last year. It does say, though, Square Enix's recent handling of Western properties has had some issues. That's nice, Ars Technica. That's a great way to put it. They've just had some issues. I think they've had a lot of fucking issues. Particularly after it put a ton of its Western studios' eggs into one uneven game-as-a-service basket of Marvel's Avengers, only to see its 2020 launch fall well short of critical and sales expectations. Yeah. I've talked about Marvel's Avengers plenty of times here on the channel, and Marvel's Avengers was fucking abysmal, and Marvel's Avengers, there was nothing good there. Marvel's Avengers was a total and complete disaster. And I still haven't been offered enough to stream Marvel's Avengers. But I don't think that day's ever gonna be here, because wow, Marvel's Avengers is just very fucking bad. Avengers LOL 2020 Game of the Year. Chris laughing in chat. Yeah, Marvel's Avengers, guys. It only fell a little short. It has had some issues. I don't think that Marvel's Avengers could have went worse, to be honest. I don't think there was anything that anyone ever praised about Marvel's Avengers. The character models looked fucking terrible. The microtransactions were fucking terrible. The content was fucking terrible. The release schedule of the new characters and content was fucking terrible. The game was buggy and glitchy, which is fucking terrible. I mean, there was nothing good about Avengers. But it says, between those disappointments and the utter silence of Deus Ex as a sci-fi adventure series since 2016, perhaps Square Enix's estimation of its combined Western studios value had fallen. Still, Embracer wasted no time beating the drum of its newly acquired IP. Its announcement of the deal confirmed that development has already begun on the next mainline Tomb Raider game, complete with next-generation storytelling and gameplay experiences, while several other AAA projects were teased as being in development by the combined studios. I've been a lover of some of these franchises. Don't get me wrong. I'm not sitting here saying I could give a fuck less about what happens to these games and these developers. Like, I care. Like, Deus Ex, I'd play another game. Tomb Raider, I love Tomb Raider. I think that Tomb Raider's fucking awesome. While yes, listen, I'm not saying every Tomb Raider game has been perfect, okay? But I love Tomb Raider. I have love for Tomb Raider. I would play another Tomb Raider game. Marvel's Avengers, listen. I had Marvel's Avengers 2, 3, 4, 5. It would not get my money, but maybe there's a couple people out there who love Marvel's Avengers. Regardless, these are some pretty big names, and now Embracer has made this big purchase, and to go with that, I wanted to reference this article quickly. It says Square Enix has shared some of its reasoning behind the decision to sell Crystal Dynamics, Eidos Montreal, and Square Enix Montreal to Embracer Group, saying the transaction will allow the company to invest more in the blockchain, AI, and the cloud, which basically just means blah, blah, blah. We like money, and that's fine. Ultimately, if a company wants to sell off IPs and development groups and studios, you go for it. Like, you're allowed to. I'm not sitting here saying you can't, right? But you don't always have to make a statement about things. Like, clearly, if they're going to sell off studios, they're gonna take that money and invest either in other studios they have, in projects they have, in the future of their companies. I mean, they go on to say Square Enix revealed the purpose of the transaction, saying it will assist the company in adapting to the changes underway. In addition, the transaction enables the launch of new businesses by moving forward with investments in the field, including blockchain, AI, and the cloud, Square Enix said. That's great, but Do we need to know that? It's in my mind, and I've seen a lot of other people say this on social media as well. When we hear about things like blockchain, AI, the cloud, it's just kind of a laughing situation, and a lot of people are responding to this by going, okay, well, I'll believe it when I see it. It's like with NFTs, companies talking about, oh, exploring the possibilities of NFTs, right? A lot of people say, I don't like the ideas of NFTs. I'll believe it when I see it, and I'll judge when I see it. It says, this news follows Square Enix president's New Year's Day 2022 letter that was centered on the company's growing focus on NFTs, blockchain games, and the metaverse. I talked about this in a previous video, but we do know that Square Enix is very focused right now on NFTs, blockchain games, like what they're considering the future of the gaming industry. And obviously, I do not blame a company for wanting to look at the future of the gaming industry and what they think is going to make them money, grow their companies, get more consumers, but we do know that they're focusing on bullshit like NFTs, and that's a big focus for them going forward. So this big acquisition has now happened. Embracer is now larger than they even were before, but Square Enix has sold all of its Western game studios and their games to Embracer. Only time will tell. We'll definitely have to see what comes out of this. We've already gotten a brief statement like, hey, we're working on some AAA games right now. Feel free to wait longer. I mean, it's a pretty generic statement when studios are bought and sold. But yeah. What do you guys think about this? NFTs incoming? Yup. Well, we know that Square Enix has been very focused on NFTs. Unfortunately, it sucks because I've liked Square Enix so much in the past, and like, I don't want to hate Square Enix. I really don't, but they've done so much shit over the past few years, and even the past few months, that just has made everyone so disappointed in them. Comedy. Yeah. The most comedical thing here is fucking Marvel's Avengers. Oh boy, oh boy. Yeah, guys, that's definitely the franchise of the century. Squaresoft used to be my favorite company during the PS1, PS2 days. Now I'm done with them. It's not the same company anymore. Yeah, I mean, it's like if you look at Blizzard, it's not the same company anymore. It's unfortunate that we have to look at this company filled with imposters who have these IPs and are working on them that unfortunately don't actually really care about them. Just how it goes. I think this is the era of the cuckoning for AAA. Prepare yourselves. I don't know what that means. Square Enix pulling Nintendo, only caring about cash cow games like Final Fantasy and Marvel's Avengers. Well, I mean, that's every company to a certain extent, right? Because ultimately, companies just want to make money. Thank you for the $1.99 super chat, Wormsworth. Smiling face with glasses. That's, how else am I supposed to say that, right? There's no message there. Cool emoji. Poggers. Thank you for the $1.99. I appreciate it. Here's a question. Do we really want Square Enix to ruin Kingdom Hearts with its 4th installment? Here's a question for you guys. How many of you even care about a new Kingdom Hearts installment? Because I remember a couple weeks ago when we had heard the initial announcement, I feel like a lot of people were not so excited for it. I feel like everyone was just kind of like, meh. I don't have any thoughts on it really right now, or no, after the previous game, I'm not excited for it. Tell that to the Perfect Dark reboot that's going woke. Rip. I'm just glad Lara Croft escaped Square Enix and their BS policies. Well, we'll have to see how she turns out in the future. It sounds great. Might not be so great. I don't. I do. I don't give a shit about Kingdom Hearts, period. I don't want them to fuck up Kingdom Hearts, obviously. I don't want companies to fuck up any franchises that people have love for. But I feel like after the previous game, people are feeling meh about the idea of another one so soon. Never cared for Kingdom Hearts to begin with, still don't. Fair enough. Fair enough. I've never played any of them. Kingdom Hearts isn't bad. It's not for everyone, though. I mean, you definitely have to like the theme, and it's not for everyone. But yeah, that's why I ask, because I feel like there are people out there who love Kingdom Hearts and are super fanboys of it and want it to succeed. But there's also a lot of people that just don't care, and a lot of people that were disappointed with the previous release. So alright guys, let's move on to the next topic of the evening, which is just going to be a follow-up to the AH and JD situations that I've covered in videos. I covered this situation in a video yesterday, and I've covered it a couple of times here and there over the past few weeks. Let me bring up the petition, just so we can get an accurate reading on the number. Jesus, this thing is fucking going. This thing is going. Okay. So it says, petition calling for Amber Heard's removal from Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom passes 3 million signatures. I don't know how many of you have been watching the trial every day that it's been on. I've been someone who's tried to keep up with it. Boy, oh boy, does Amber look like a terrible person. Now, let me preface this with saying, I don't know Amber Heard in real life, okay? I've never sat down and talked to her. Behind the scenes, maybe she's a great person, right? I'm 99% confident in saying this. I think she sounds like a terrible person. And all of the news and information we've heard throughout this trial has made her sound like an even worse person than I initially thought she was. And I didn't have love for Amber, okay? I think that she is a replaceable actress. I think that she is a mediocre actress. And she thinks she's great. And she's amazing. And she's untouchable. And millions of people hate her. I had mentioned this. This first part is funny. Not the second part, but the first part is funny. I talked about this in the video yesterday. Amber Heard is furious. Oh, by the way, this stream will now be demonetized because I said Amber Heard's name. So if you're enjoying, give it a like, donate via Streamlabs, become a member via YouTube memberships. Thanks for being here. Have to show. Amber hates the fact that people don't like her. And she is acting like a child, and she's throwing hissy fits because people do not like her and bad articles are coming out about her because she decided to fire her entire PR team only days before taking the stand at the trial, or testifying at the trial. It says Johnny Depp's bodyguard, Travis McGivern, testified in the court that Aquaman actress Amber Heard punched Johnny Depp in the face back in 2015. Now, obviously, I'm not laughing at this, okay? These accusations are not funny. Abuse is not a fucking funny. It's not funny. And people's careers, as we've seen, definitely get ruined over accusations. I was laughing at the first part because Amber has fired her whole PR team because she's throwing a hissy fit and she's mad that people don't like her. It says, beginning his testimony, he identified himself as a security professional for over 16 years and that he's worked for Depp for over 9 years. It says, when asked to identify how he would describe the interactions between Depp and Heard, he answered it would depend. Sometimes they were super loving, super happy, and the next day they could be arguing. And initially when we first met, when I started working down at the lofts, things were cool. More than moving forward, things got a little more volatile the longer they were there. He went on to detail that Depp and Heard began fighting almost every other night after the two returned from Australia. I would say nightly, but every other night. Several times a week there would be arguments. A lot of name-calling, lots of F-bombs, a lot of you know. negativity. It was typically Miss Heard directing her feelings towards Mr. Depp. When asked to provide specifics, he revealed there were times when Miss Heard called him a fucking deadbeat dad. If I can say that, I apologize to the court. Fucking washed up, a fucking cunt, you name it, she spewed it. Now, I have obviously, throughout my time here on the channel talking about the situation, have believed that these two actors have been treated very differently in the industry, and I do think it's very unfair. Johnny Depp has been shunned and blacklisted from the industry. No one wants to work with him anymore because accusations of abuse were brought out against him, but Amber Heard also has very bad accusations brought against her, and yet she still has all these roles in Hollywood. Companies still love her, still want to work with her, and I don't think that that is fair. Obviously, I don't see their relationship in real time, and from the information we've heard from both sides, it seems like they were both very toxic in this relationship. Unfortunately, after a couple of years of being together, it just got very negative between both of them. But, obviously, shit like attacking people is a whole other step. It says, later in his testimony, he detailed one incident where he arrived at Depp and Heard's penthouse following an argument, maybe penthouse 3, where he attempted to extradite Depp from the argument where the two had been yelling at each other. He said the argument continued. There were moments of kind of normal conversation, peaceful conversation, but then there were also moments of yelling and anger from both of them. At some point, I witnessed Miss Heard throw a Red Bull can. Man, Amber knows how to throw. It's not funny, but she should get into sports because she throws a lot of stuff. She's not a good actress. So maybe there's someone in the somewhere in the sports world for her. After providing details on how the penthouse was designed, he reiterated, I saw Miss Heard throw a Red Bull can from her position that struck Mr. Depp in the back of the head. Jesus Christ. Again, she's not a good actress. Doesn't belong in Hollywood. But maybe there's another industry out there for her. The argument would continue with both of them hurling insults at each other, according to him. He then detailed Heard began throwing more objects at him, saying, at one point, Miss Heard threw something else, either a purse or some sort of bag that she had up there. I was able to knock it away so it didn't hit him. At one point, she spit at him, and just a lot of verbal vitriol from both of them. It says he then revealed that after Heard exited the building, Mr. Depp decided to rearrange her closet for her, threw down probably every rack of clothing and shoes, threw at least one down the stairs. Yeah, he was upset. There is a very big difference between these accusations, though, okay? It sounds like Johnny did get mad. He did get upset. He did get frustrated, and he would throw insults back. He would yell back at her. He would say things that maybe he probably regretted. And he would do things like this. He'd go into her belongings, like her closet, and mess up the way that her clothing was, and throw shoes around and throw clothing around. But those are not another person, okay? Amber is being accused of punching him, of hitting him, of physically attacking him. She's being accused of throwing things at him. I mean, these are two very different situations. People yell when they're upset. People might, in this case, fuck up clothing, right? And again, they're not his belongings, so I understand that to her that might be upsetting, right? But there's a big difference between throwing around clothes and shoes, not at someone, but just in a room in general, and actually throwing heavy objects at someone intending to harm them. Intending to hit them. Will the clothes be testifying? Objection, hearsay? He explained, I felt it was time to get Mr. Depp out of the situation, so I stepped in between them, telling Mr. Depp that we were leaving and it wasn't up to him anymore. At that point, out of the corner of my eye, I saw a fist and an arm come across my right shoulder, and I heard and saw a closed fist contact Mr. Depp in the left side of his face. When asked whose fist it was, he answered that was Miss Heard's fist. He would eventually detail that Depp's response was saying the initial look on his face kind of mirrored mine, like a shock, like what just happened, where'd that come from? I mean, again, there are clearly very, very different things being accused here. In one case, it's a guy being in a room, being mad, throwing clothes around, not at anyone, not where he could hurt anyone. And then in the other case, it's someone punching him. It's about Amber throwing things at him to harm him. I mean, very, very different situations here. But I've mentioned this. The petition to remove Amber from Aquaman 2 is rapidly growing. So for months, it sat at 1.8 million signatures, and that's about where it leveled off until the trial started, and now it is over 3.3 million signatures, almost at 3.4 million signatures. It is absolutely crazy to see how much it has grown in only a couple of weeks. But there's been rumors that they've minimized her role, that they have limited her time to only under 10 minutes in Aquaman 2. I do not give a fuck. I am not going to pay to see this movie. I'm not going to support it. I say this all the time. I don't tell people to boycott things. I don't say, hey, I'm going to boycott this, so you should too. I'm simply just telling you guys, though, I personally will not be spending money to see this movie. I will not be supporting this movie. If you still want to, that is 100% your choice. It is your money. You can do whatever you want. You're a grown adult. I will not be supporting this movie, though. It doesn't matter to me if she's in all 2.5 hours of the film, if she's in 10 minutes, if she's in 2 seconds. The only thing I will accept is if she is in the movie and the only scene that she is in is her character's death. If they show her character's death, you know what? I'll still support it. I'll support it. I'll buy a ticket. But otherwise, I do not care. I'm not going to see it unless they completely erase her from the movie. They could recast her. It doesn't matter to me. They could act like Mara never existed. But I am not going to support this movie. And there are millions of other people that are not going to either. And Warner Brothers is in for a rude awakening. They've obviously had fail after fail after fail. Ezra Miller is a troublemaker for them, is a problem for them. Amber is a problem for them. And, well, they decided to go with Amber because they thought everyone would side with Amber and everyone would love Amber. For me, it all relies on evidence. And, well, you know, I've seen enough to say fuck Amber Heard. So yeah, guys, that's all I had to discuss with that. If you have anything else to say, let me know. In a minute or two, we'll move into the final topic of the evening, which is going to be Doctor Strange 2, but we're not moving there yet. Boy, oh boy. This case has exposed a lot of corporate evil. L'Oreal supports Amber Heard and tests on animals. Yeah, fuck them. Hey, I've said this before. I've never supported L'Oreal because, yeah, they test on animals. And first of all, I don't support any companies that test on animals because that's fucking stupid. But I also don't support L'Oreal because of Amber and, well, I think after this, they're probably shitting themselves on the bed, just like Amber did, because they're going, wow, we really, really pushed campaigns with this woman. I mean, in stores near me, like, there's L'Oreal displays, and her face is on them. Her face is on them. If I was them, I would be taking those out of stores ASAP. You think Amber's worse than Brie Larson? 100%. We're talking about someone that physically abused someone and attacked someone and versus someone who's just a stuck-up actor. I mean, Amber is a stuck-up snobby bitch as just an actor, just like Brie Larson. But Amber, on top of that, has physically abused people and attacked people and assaulted people. And has been arrested for it before. Big difference. If we're just talking about personalities, they're both pretty terrible, but one is clearly worse than another. I don't like Brie Larson. Again, I think that she's a pretty bad actress as well. Not a fan of her, but she didn't abuse anyone. Yeah, she didn't commit perjury. She didn't do any of that. Whereas Amber did. Big difference, but they both suck. I don't like either of them. Due to their previous work on Game of Thrones, I think Emilia Clarke would be a good replacement for Mara. Now, that is your opinion, and that's okay. I like Emilia Clarke. I don't know. I feel like she's not Mara. Now, I do have to say that I do agree to a certain extent, because her and Jason Momoa loved working together. They have amazing chemistry, and that's why I think that Emilia Clarke could work in this role. I don't know. I just don't look at Mara and think Emilia Clarke. Like, I don't think she's bad. I would much rather see her in the movie over Amber Heard. But I don't know. There's something that doesn't click with me. Maybe it's just because it's that mentality of, like, you're actually having to think about her being replaced. Like, in the first place, if it was Emilia Clarke, I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm sure she'll be fine. Maybe it's just that, though. Just because I'm trying to imagine her replacing an actress. How about Sophie Turner as Mara? No. I like Sophie Turner. She's not looking good right now, though. With her second pregnancy. She was at the Met Gala. She looked like Coraline. She looked like a Tim Burton character. I'm sorry. I love Sophie Turner. She looked like a Tim Burton character. She is clearly having a rough time. Sophie Turner's not a bad actress. Maybe she could work. I don't know. Again, I think maybe it's just that kind of wheel turning in my head. Like, yeah, she might not be bad, but it's because I'm having to imagine her replacing another actress. When is Aquaman 2 coming out? It is coming out... When was it moved to? I believe it was moved to March 2023. March or April 2023. Ezra is Mara. Oh, no. Now we're getting into interesting territory. Okay, guys. So let's move into the final topic of the night, which is going to be Doctor Strange 2. Yeah, she got married to Joe Jonas. Question mark? The one everyone loves. The overrated one. Yeah, Joe Jonas. That's it for sure. Good for her. They've been married for a while now. A couple years. Sheesh. Man, I can't believe it's already been years since Game of Thrones ended. We were all so disappointed. How trash. How absolute trash. Dog shit. Awful. Garbage. I can't believe they did it. They did us like that. That they could have given us something good for an ending of Game of Thrones, and we just got trash. Okay, guys. So let's move into the final topic of the evening, which is going to be Doctor Strange 2. Now, listen. I love Doctor Strange. I think Doctor Strange is a really cool character. The first movie was great in my opinion. But I've been very skeptical about Doctor Strange 2 because as time has gone on, we've heard so many bad things about this movie. All of the reshoots they did, all of the rewrites they had to do, all of the changes they've had to make. It sounds very thrown together. It really truly sounds like with this movie, it was supposed to come out before Spider-Man No Way Home. So they had a version of the movie, and then they had to completely rewrite the movie, and then they had to refilm 90% of the movie. It sounds very thrown together, and like it's not going to be a very cohesive project. But it's finally releasing this weekend, and right now, the critic reviews are not amazing. They're not bad. They're not terrible. They're not terrible. But they're also not like 95 to 100%. So I wanted to reference this, and then we'll read a couple of the spoiler-free reviews. It says, the Doctor Strange 2 Rotten Tomatoes score is in, and it's presently Did I say that right the first time? I think I stumbled. And it's presently a bit lukewarm for a big Marvel film, as the score is currently at 83% with 66 reviews accounted for. And this actually isn't the case anymore. It is right now sitting at an 80% with 103 reviews. So couple percent difference. It says what could be worrisome is that Kevin Feige had Sam Raimi reshoot reportedly around 80% or more of the movie, so it could be possible the flick is a big mess. And also recall Scott Derrickson was at first supposed to direct the sequel, but left the project for some unknown reason. This movie has had a lot of problems behind the scenes. They've had directors leave, they've had smaller time actors leave, they've had reshoots, they've had rewrites. I mean, it's not like 3 years ago they came up with this idea and they stuck to it the whole time. They had to change so much of it, which on one hand doesn't sound terrible, because that means, oh, they're rethinking it, they're doing things that could be better than what they have on paper now. But it also means that their original idea just kind of got thrown out. And they just had to kind of improvise. It says, for comparison, the previous Marvel movie starring Benedict Cumberbatch that made nearly $2 billion. It's fucking crazy. Spider-Man No Way Home has a 93% Rotten Tomatoes score, and the first Doctor Strange movie has a better score as well at 89%. The 83% is comparable to Black Widow, and again, it's 80% now, so it's more comparable to Black Widow at 79%, Captain Marvel 79%, Avengers Infinity War 85%, Ant-Man and the Wasp 87%, Guardians of the Galaxy 2 85%, Captain America the First Avenger 79%, Iron Man 3 79%, and Ant-Man 83%. Again, these are critic scores, so take them with a grain of salt. Critic scores can be iffy. I don't always trust critics. But the top critics score is actually worse. Usually it's the other way around. The all critics is worse and the top critics is better. But the top critics is actually at a 70%. So that's not looking too good for them. We're going to read a few. I'm 95% sure they're going to be spoiler free. But again, they're critics. They're not users. I like to read user reviews. That's what I like to judge by. They really referenced them in the film. Referenced who? Let me scroll up. Oh yeah. The Epoch Times is referenced in the film. China banned Multiverse of Madness. I did talk about it in a video a couple of days ago, but they banned it because the Epoch Times reference. So, let's read a couple of the more positive ones. A C+, a B, a 3 out of 5, and then we'll read some of the negative ones, just to be fair. The first says, Multiverse of Madness feels uncharacteristically accommodating of the whims of one Sam Raimi, complete with genuinely gleeful horror, shockingly brutal violence, and a terrifying surprise villain. I'm not going to say the leaks during the stream, but everything for this film has basically been leaked. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is filled with mind-bending visuals and huge action sequences, but it also is destined to be Marvel's most divisive film in years. I'd like to point out this wording here, mind-bending visuals, because I feel like the best Marvel movie with what I would consider mind-bending visuals is the first Doctor Strange movie. You've got the sorcerers, you've got the way the buildings moved and the way they had to switch between them. Oh, it was just amazing in a mind-bending way. So for me, the #1 Marvel movie with mind-bending visuals is the first Doctor Strange. And I think that that is an aesthetic choice that if they didn't put in the second movie would have ruined a lot of the movie. Obviously, I haven't seen it yet, but I love the visuals from the first DS movie. And I hope that they carried those on. It seems like they carried them on from the clips that we've seen and the trailers we've seen. But It says Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is a creature feature loaded with surprises. The uneven visual effects fuel nearly non-stop action in a brisk runtime. Tremendous lead performances aid a script with gaping plot holes. Ooh, that's starting to sound bad. Now let's read some of the negative ones. Some of the rotten ones. You can feel the production and overall plan seeping into the storytelling in ways that Doctor Strange doesn't entirely have the strength to overcome. Yikes. Yikes. Madness is one of the last adjectives that comes to mind when describing this movie. Uh-oh. That doesn't sound very positive. Multiverse of Madness doubles down on Spidey's intergalactic exploits to exhausting effect. From what I see, my first impression reading these is that while they tried to make this movie over the top in a way that was going to capture audiences and it was going to look cool and seem cool, it seemed like maybe they went a bit overboard. Let's go to the next page. A summertime sequel that proves way too messy and geeky until it manages to double back around again into pleasurable absurdity. The blockbuster movie equivalent to reading a trade paperback collection of single-issue comics where a beloved superstar artist is repeatedly replaced by a lackluster fill-in dragging the rest of the work down. What the fuck kind of description is this? What the fuck? I mean, props for coming up with that. Props. 2 out of 5. The story is confusing and filled with endless MacGuffins and mumbo-jumbo while confining most of the best ideas to throwaway moments. The dialogue is full of endless exposition, but more often than not, it makes things less clear. My thing with these reviews, right, is that I feel like these reviews are very unclear, but the reviews are unclear because they're saying the movie is unclear. Oh boy. Let's scroll on down. With Doctor Strange, the soul-deadening bloat of these films becomes ever clearer, mostly because you can see a great inventive filmmaker trying and failing to style his way out of it. Waving his arms in front of his face as if directing the world's tiniest traffic, Cumberbatch can't quite shake the impression of an old-school conjurer in a tacky end-of-peer review. This sounds awful! These are not... not positive. I mean, even this, it's like 3 out of 5, but it's still a negative. Some more positive ones. Multiverse of Madness is MCU's darkest installment yet that delivers thrilling horror moments and memorable appearances. I hope that it's dark and it's dreary and it's interesting and innovative, and I don't know if it's going to be any of that. The story is simple. The framework for a character piece exploring the consequences of ego and grief. Sam injects a welcome dose of gothic horror into the MCU. Parental guidance is highly suggested. Who needs a grown adult to tell another grown adult, hey, parental guidance is suggested? We're not talking about a rated R movie here. Parental guidance is highly suggested. For who? Do you expect me to get my mom to go to the movies with me to see Doctor Strange? I need parental guidance. Like, this isn't, it's not a rated R movie. It's not like they're marketing this to, whatever. Just, again, film critics, you know, they're kind of stupid. With Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, oh, we already read that one. I'm sorry, excuse me. We already read it. In terms of Raimi's back catalog, it's more Spider-Man 3 than The Evil Dead. Yikes. Perhaps the Marvel Universe is finally starting to feel like a long-running comic book series, or maybe Phase 4 just hasn't kicked into gear yet. 2 out of 4. Well, guys, as you can see, the reviews, whilst there are some positive ones, like I've read, a lot of the negative ones are all kind of saying the same thing. It just didn't hit the notes everyone wanted. I'm gonna keep my eye out on leaks, on spoilers. It's a shame because I was really excited to see this movie. I remember back when No Way Home came out, I was like, oh, I can't wait for Multiverse of Madness. I really hope it's going to be great. Because Spider-Man No Way Home was amazing. And the more I've seen and heard about Multiverse of Madness, I'm going to be honest, the less it feels like Doctor Strange. And the more it feels like, hey, we're taking this movie and putting a shit ton of cameos into it, and maybe Doctor Strange has some screen time. So yeah, guys, those are the topics I had to discuss tonight. We talked about Doctor Strange, we talked about Amber Heard, we talked about Square Enix, we talked about Ta-Nehisi Coates' Superman movie. I'm going to stick around for a bit longer, so if you guys have any questions or topics you'd like me to discuss, feel free to put them in chat. I'd be happy to answer. Not ending stream yet, but soon. If you enjoyed the stream, make sure to give it a like. If you didn't, give it a dislike. Donate via Streamlabs, become a member via YouTube memberships. Donate via Super Chats, all that fun stuff. Dark Titan via Patreon. Thank you guys for being here. But yeah, if you have any questions, topics, feel free to put them in chat. We are all babies, Vera. Everything must be accessible to everyone. Take your grandma. But why does it have to be grandma? Huh? Huh? Why does it have to be grandma? Are you saying that a woman can only bring a woman? Okay, that is pretty sexist of you. That a woman needs another? Okay, I'm done. I'm done making the joke. I'm done. I'm done. Hashtag woman power. Women to stick together. Oh no. Now we need an orphan joke. Hurry fast. We need a grandma-less joke fast. Hey, I kind of like Spider-Man 3. Sue me later. I don't entirely disagree. I mean, Spider-Man 3 definitely was the worst out of the three. But it had moments that were good. Do you still plan to watch Doctor Strange? I don't think I'm gonna go to the theater to see Doctor Strange. But I think I will see Doctor Strange. Raid Shadow Legends. What about Raid Shadow Legends? How many of you have actually played Raid Shadow Legends? Wasn't Scarlet Witch? Yes. Scarlet Witch is all over the posters and the trailers. She is a main character in this movie. Warner Brothers stands by Ezra and Amber and phases out Cavill, Affleck, Godot. Brilliant. Yeah, that's definitely the direction they... That's definitely the direction they went in, and that's definitely the direction they've committed to. And if that's their choice, that's their choice. I don't support their choice. Let me scroll up. Did you try Season 2 of Halo Infinite? To me, it made the game worse. I haven't gotten a chance to try it yet. I didn't know exactly if it came out last week or this week, but I haven't tried it yet. And I do want to try it at some point here soon. Why do you think it made the game worse? Did it, like, add specific features you don't like? Is this stream sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends? No, it's not. It is not. Hashtag not sponsored stream. Hashtag companies reach out to me for a sponsored stream. But yeah, I've never played Raid Shadow Legends. Until today! Hashtag sponsored. Alright, let me scroll up. Are you excited for a new movie? I don't know what the next movie releasing is that I'm excited for. I know the past few weeks a bunch of movies have released. Starfield? What about Starfield? I'm mildly excited for Starfield. My thing with Starfield is that we're so close to release at this point. We still have seen, like, nothing for Starfield. We've gotten a teaser trailer. We've gotten some concept art, but we haven't actually gotten any real footage of Starfield, which is just really meh, in my opinion. I think that, I get it doesn't come out till November, but I think that they should probably have released something by now. I mean, it's May. Yeah, The Northman came out recently. I haven't seen it yet, but that is something that I was excited for, that I have to see soon. What's your opinion on the mass exodus of people leaving the studio behind the Perfect Dark reboot, not sequel? Does that not tell us the game's development issues are internally and externally? I do think that when we see a mass exodus of people leave a project, it definitely does kind of spell trouble. It definitely seems like there's something going on behind the scenes, whether they're not getting the pay they want, or it's not going in the direction they want, or there could be other issues going on at the company. I mean, if we look at, like, the Activision Blizzard situation, anything is possible, right? But we don't really have a lot of details on it, so it's hard to have a strong opinion. But it does seem like there's something going on behind the scenes that employees obviously are not liking, or else they wouldn't just leave the project like that. I mean, there has to be some deep-rooted issues there. Doom Eternal 2? They never announced a Doom Eternal 2. I literally can't wait for Top Gun Maverick. I, again, feel like when it comes out, I will see it. But I don't feel that hype. I mean, hearing about movies being delayed 4, 5, 6 times, I don't know how anyone could feel hyped for them. It's like The Flash. Obviously, I'm not excited for The Flash because I don't like all the rumors and the leaks that have happened, and I don't want to support Ezra Miller right now. But if we look 3 years ago, yeah, I was excited about the Flash movie because I thought that all these actors would be in it and I thought it would be really cool. But it's been delayed like 7 fucking times now. So it's like, how could I be excited for it? Will you do other interviews or collaborations with YouTubers? Yeah, I mean, I'm always up for doing interviews or collaborations with people. Whether they're YouTubers, content creators, developers, whoever. Who knows what the future will hold? How long has Elon owned Twitter? Maybe longer than we know. Get your tinfoil hats out, ladies and gentlemen. This has become a conspiracy stream. Will you do a review of Doctor Strange or just talk about it in a live stream? I'll probably just talk about it in a live stream. But if I feel really strongly about it, if I really loved it or really hated it, I'd do a video on it. But most likely, at least right now, I'll definitely talk about it in a live stream. But a video usually depends. Because if I feel meh about a movie and I don't specifically have another video topic to go with it, I don't put up a lot of standalone reviews. But if there's something else to talk about with it, then I usually mention it in a video. I don't do a lot of, as you guys have noticed, obviously, I don't do a lot of, like, standalone video game or movie reviews. Maybe in the future, I will potentially do that more. More. In quotes. The CW's Flash is far better than Ezra Miller. I agree. I really like Grant Gustin. I think that he is a great actor, and I thought he has done an amazing job as the Flash. I love him. I think he's great. Obviously, the Flash past 2 seasons have been kind of mediocre, but I think overall, he's done a really great job. Reviews are great. Was your last one Dune? So, the last, standalone reviews I did were Dune, Spider-Man No Way Home, Ghostbusters Afterlife. Those are like the last few that I can think of that were more standalone. Dune I did a pretty large deep dive into, just because I love Dune. But I don't do a whole lot of standalone review content. Also, guys, before I end stream, if you're enjoying, give the stream a like. We need 10 more likes to hit 100. I'd really appreciate it if you guys could take a minute to like. Oh, also, this doesn't matter. Well, I guess it does kind of matter for you guys. YouTube finally added live redirects to live streams. Do you know on Twitch how you can host people or you can raid people? So basically, like, when I go off a live stream, like when I end live stream in a minute, I go, okay, guys, I'm going to raid this person. I could send my viewers to another live stream. Twitch has had that for years. YouTube finally added that feature. So if you are someone who watches a lot of live streams, keep that in mind. I don't have anyone right now that I know would live redirect me, or I would live redirect, but they did finally add that feature. YouTube really needs to get their shit together though with live streams. I obviously create 90% of my content on YouTube, and I want to see more features as a live streamer, as a content creator here. I do videos, I do live streams. They are missing some features though that they need to get on. The Flash ended after season 3 or 4. I feel like the Flash show was good up until maybe 5, and then it started going pretty downhill. Will you guest star on G4? Yeah, you know what? G4, reach out to me. I'll go on one of your shows. I'm not gonna make a sassy remark. You give off strong dominatrix vibes. Well, thanks, Philip. Dexter, you give off very murderer vibes. Thanks for being here. Yeah, YouTube needs to add features and fix features. As someone who live streams here, again, I appreciate the fact that live streaming in videos, and I can have it all in one place, but they really need to add specific features. You're being too positive, Vera. YouTube doesn't give a shit. Yeah, no, they really don't give a shit. But I wish they did. Oh no. Guys, we're getting in weird territory now. Vera, step on him. No, I don't think so. Susan is more concerned about coordinating with the Ministry of Information. Get good, Susan? Guys, listen. We don't need to be completely kicked off the platform. Come on, chat. Is that really what you want? Come on, chat. Alright, guys. Well, with that being said, I'm going to wrap up the live stream here. Thank you all so much for stopping by tonight. I do really appreciate it. One more time quickly, though, before I end. If you're enjoying, give the stream a like. We need 2 more likes to hit 100. Thank you guys for the likes, for the support. Check out links in the description. Follow me on social media, Twitter, Minds, BitChute, Odyssey, Getter. Join our Discord server. We're very active there. I do tag you all when I go live in case YouTube doesn't notify you of the live streams. Check out yesterday's videos if you didn't see them. No videos today, but there will be videos tomorrow. Check out yesterday's if you haven't seen them. No stream tomorrow, but there will be a stream again on Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. I will be doing more Elden Ring. We started our 2nd Elden Ring playthrough over the weekend. I'm excited to continue. I haven't played any since the last stream, but I probably will tomorrow a little bit. Yeah, Elden Ring on Thursday. Over the weekend, also, maybe we'll play some more Elden Ring. I don't know. Pretty suspicious. But join the Discord server. Check out links in the description. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you all for the support, for the donations, for hanging out the past few hours. Next stream, Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Join Discord, follow on social media, all that fun stuff. Thank you for being here, and have a fantastic evening, everyone.